This video is for American Airlines and American Airlines only. I got a bone to pick with you right now. Today I had a flight. That flight was from Dallas to New York. We get on the plane, we take off, we're flying. We were 30 minutes out from landing, and then they gave us an announcement that they are running out of fuel. And because of that, they're gonna have to land in Philadelphia. So we land in Philadelphia and they said, okay, we're gonna have to go to one of the little holding spots to get fuel. So we land, we go over to the little holding space and we're waiting for fuel. It took 45 minutes for the fuel to get started. No announcements whatsoever. Then there was an announcement that the fuel was started and we're good to go. So we start pushing back. As we start pushing back, they make an announcement that there's a chance that the pilots and the crew might time out and their day might have to end, which would keep us from being able to fly. But they said that as long as they take off within the next hour, we'll be good. So they told everybody on the plane, they're like, we're pretty confident that we can get off of the ground before our time's up. We're all good. So we push off, we go over to the tarmac where you take off, and we're waiting. And we're waiting, and we're waiting, and we're waiting. And then, not an hour later, 30 minutes later, they come on the intercom and they say, hey, we're timed out, we gotta go back to the gate. That obviously sucks. At this point, I'm just looking at train tickets because the train is an hour from Philadelphia to New York. But this is where it gets ridiculous. We get back to the gate because now I'm getting off the plane. They said, no, don't worry. We have a new pilot flying in from Chicago and he just got here. He'll be here in 45 minutes. So we're sitting there waiting for the pilot and everyone's getting a little bit restless, including myself in fairness. So we're thinking to ourselves, we're like, can we just get off of the plane? Like, I'll just take a train, it's fine, I'm an hour away. They're like, no, you cannot get off the plane. I said, okay, I can't get off the plane, I'm just gonna sit here. So then I sit down and they come on the intercom again and they're like, hey, so if anybody wants to get off the plane, that's fine, but your bags are gonna fly with this flight. Meaning you will not get your bags for a couple of days, maybe a little over a week, because you'll have to mail them to yourself or go get them at the airport in New York. So a lot of the people didn't check in bags. I did. So all the people who just have carry-ons get up and they start getting ready to get off the plane because they just told us that that's allowed. They get on the intercom again. They go, just so that you know, we have an agent who's going to have to write down every single person's name who is choosing to get off of the plane. And then we'll let the captain on, and then we'll push back. Half the plane was getting ready to leave. So they're writing down names one by one. This takes 30, 40 minutes. So everyone's getting off. I sat back down because I don't want to have to go back to the airport to get my check back.
Please do not leave the boarding area. The new flight attendants have been assigned. We just don't know where they are, so they should be here shortly.
Did you hear that? We haven't even gotten to this part of the story yet. So then, after 30 minutes of them writing down random people's names, they get back on the intercom. They're like, actually, we're deboarding everybody, so everyone needs to get up and get off. So we deboard, we get to the gate where we're gonna eventually have to get back onto the plane, and they tell us that if you have checked bags on the plane, you have to wait here until we find a new pilot and a new crew. And you can't go anywhere unless you wanna have to go mail your luggage to yourself. And now they just told us, right now, that the new flight attendants were assigned, but they don't know where they are. So, American Airlines, get in the comments, figure it out, help me out.
Once the flight attendants get here, sign will tell us it's okay, we will start reboarding. So please, pull your boarding passes back up if you need to.
I'm gonna lose my mind.
People are changing how they travel because delays no longer feel like rare accidents, they feel like a normal part of the trip. The airport stories show the human cost before we even reach the gate.
Worst flying experience ever. Do not fly with American Airlines. Like, I legit cannot make this up. Our flight was delayed for 3 hours because apparently there was no pilot, and then they made us board the plane and sit there for another hour and then made us deplane. So now we're just like all out here waiting and we don't even know if we can make it back to Toronto or not. Like, this is absolutely insane. It's like almost 5 hours of waiting. We're supposed to land by now. Like, it's absolutely insane.
At this point, I'm convinced that American Airlines sucks. 'Cause I usually don't fly with them, but I'm flying with them today. And every time I fly with them, they delay my flight. How do y'all delay my flight every time I fly with y'all? And it's only been 3 times. I know that trend that say surviving. We're making a Netflix documentary of surviving, whatever. I need to make a Netflix documentary of of me surviving American Airlines.
Last week, I was supposed to fly from Houston to Chicago, and everything went well at first. They were on time. We were supposed to depart at 11:30. We all boarded in time. Then things quickly went downhill. So we're getting ready to head out, and then they say, oh, there's actually a huge storm that's going to be sitting right on top of the airport, so we're going to have to wait. Okay, totally understand. That's out of everyone's control. So we end up sitting there for almost 2 hours while they wait for the storm to move on and pass. And then they say, okay, actually, we think we're going to be able to sneak out of here before the next wave of storms come through. So after 2 hours of sitting there, they prepare the cabin for taking off. As we're about to head out again, they go, oh, problem, the crew has timed out. You'd think that's something that they would be thinking about while we're sitting there for 2 hours on the tarmac waiting up the storm, but I guess not. So they say, everyone stay on the plane. We're supposed to get a new pilot coming in from Miami shortly. And then another hour goes by and we're still sitting there on the plane. Of course, people start getting restless and they say, if you get off the plane, you cannot get back on. You will not be able to get your checked luggage. So a couple of people choose to get off. And then finally, we've been waiting. And they say, oh, sorry, we can't find the crew actually. So we're going to have to get everyone off the plane. So we all have to get off the plane. Okay. And then we're sitting there and we're sitting there and we're sitting there. So I and many others on my flight ended up sitting at the airport for a minimum of 10, 11 hours because they kept saying, anytime now, the crew's gonna get here, we're gonna find a crew. And then, oh, actually it's been delayed another hour. And people are getting very upset because it's like, I see next door, the gate right next to us, they're flying from Houston to Chicago. There were 3 flights that flew from Houston to Chicago in the time that we were sitting there at the gate. And of course, a lot of people were trying to get on, but the wait list was astronomically long. They were full flights to Chicago. And at one point, the gate agents just disappeared. They just left the gate and left a QR code behind for customer service. They just didn't want to deal with it. So our original departure time was 11:30 in the morning. And I think about like 7 or 8 p.m. is when it got pushed to 1 in the morning. And then at that point, I was like, there is no way this flight is going to take off. I'm very chronically ill. I was crashing out. I felt horrible. I felt so sick. So I finally was like, you know what? I am giving up. So I got a hotel in the airport and I changed my flight to take off the next morning. I have no idea if that flight ended up taking off or not. And I honestly can't be bothered to check. But it's like, you're telling me in the at least 14 hours, who knows if it actually took off at 1 a.m. or if it took off at all. In 14 hours between our original departure to the supposed alleged departure at 1 a.m., you couldn't find a crew. Okay. And of course, because I had a checked bag, I didn't have it that night for the hotel. I'm chronically ill, so everything I needed to manage my illnesses was in there. So American Airlines, that was ridiculous. Terrible.
UPS built its reputation on dependable delivery, but workers and customers now describe a system struggling to keep that promise at the same speed.
The UPS buyout has been approved. There is only 7,500 people that are able to take it. I know in my hub, there are certain drivers that have only been driving less time than I have, and I've been there for 10 years, that are taking the buyout. And then I know that in some other hubs, there are drivers that applied for it and got denied, and they've been there for 30 years. So I'm not exactly sure what the qualifications were for like approving it or anything like that. I'm wondering if it's more based off of like the amount of people in your hub versus the amount of people that applied for it. I don't really know, but we just had 2 people leave on Friday with the buyout. They've been there for like 35 years each, so it's really exciting for them. There's quite a few people that are excited about it. I personally am not taking the buyout. I did not apply for it. I'm here for the long haul. I understand that UPS is doing some stuff and things are going to change, and currently I'm not on my own route because my route got cut today.
Hey y'all, everybody's talking about that buyout right now. What are your thoughts on it? I'm staying. That pension and our healthcare means way more to me than 150 grand. I just have a hard time, especially after taxes. I mean, what's it going to be, like 85,000 maybe? I don't know. I mean, I guess if you're about to retire or, think you're going to get laid off, then it's worth it. But I'm good where I'm at. I'm going to keep on trucking and moving up that list. But if you decide to take it, best of luck. Hope y'all find something that you enjoy, because this is a tough job and you know, we all deserve to be happy. So best of luck to you all. And that's my 2 cents on it. Peace.
Well, I got it. I got the form. The UPS buyout form. And I got it. I've been there less than 25 years, less than 20 years. And I got it. I've been there with the company close to 10, driving 6. But if this is what they think we're worth, like how hard it was to get there as a driver, just to see those numbers, that's a slap in the face, man. Slap in the face.
UPS is offering us full-time drivers buyouts to bail. Get out of here. Here's some money. You can leave instead of firing everyone. I'm gonna take that shit, bro. It doesn't make any sense for most people, right? If you've been here for like 0 to 12 to 15 years even, like it doesn't make sense for you, because it's not gonna be enough money to make it worth like what you would make for the rest of your career, you know? So for most people, no. Unless you're someone that already wants to leave. UPS is a great job. We make good money. We have great health benefits. I understand all that for sure. Fuck yeah. Unless you're someone that wants a little bit more out of your life than just that, than a good, you know, good money. There's a lot out there. I know the grass isn't always greener. I completely understand that. I would never just up and leave a career to pursue an unknown. I'm not that guy, because I got, you know, a family. I got a wife and kids at home. But this could be an opportunity that if you wanted to leave already, at least you get some money out of it. You didn't want to sit here and do this job for the next 30 years. I don't think I do. It beats you up. Work-life balance sucks. You're hardly home. It's hot as shit outside, and hot as hell out here in Houston, bro. It's brutal, man. So if you are someone that really wants to leave already, take that shit. Get out of here, man. But everything's going automated, bro. They're trying to get rid of everybody. It's crazy. It is crazy. They want to get everything's AI. Everything's going automated. Automatic trucks. Automated this. Automated freaking delivery people. Robots delivering packages. Like, they want it all automated. I mean, I get it. We're adapting. It's part of just where we're going with things, but whoo, baby.
They got rid of a bunch of drivers with the buyout, right? And now, at least at my hub, which I know quite a few other hubs might be doing this too, now they're hiring people, and what they're doing is they're getting rid of the people at the higher rate and they're hiring them at the lower rate, because we have a scaled progression and it takes 4 years to hit top scale. Now, within that 4 years, we go up for contract and I'm pretty sure it's 2028. So I think that there's going to be a little bit of negotiations, especially with the amount of people that we got rid of. So they could get a higher cap on basically their profit. And so that's why they offered the buyout. Now they hired the new people at half the rate. So I don't know. It's just the math. It is what it is. It's fine. I understand that the company's just trying to make as much money as possible. That's the whole point of a company. But yeah, so it just, I don't know. Sometimes you look at the way stuff is and you're like, oh, okay, it's just all about profit. And I miss when we used to UPS used to hand out like turkeys and hams, and they used to give us a bunch of free stuff, and they would have raffles, and they really gave you the sense of they really cared about you as a person, and they cared about you because you were a part of the company. And now things aren't necessarily like that anymore, but I feel like that's like that in most places. Society has really moved away from us being a community and more into it's all about profit margins.
When an everyday system breaks, who moves first? The evidence shows who reaches the front, who keeps waiting, and whose time gets treated as disposable.
Most people have no idea what's happening inside FedEx right now. It's changing the delivery system. FedEx is merging huge parts of FedEx Express with FedEx Ground. For years, they operated separately, different trucks, different routes, different drivers, and different buildings. But now FedEx says, why send 2 trucks down the same street? So they launched something called Network 2.0 in One FedEx. That means stations are closing. About 475 stations will close by 2027. Routes are combining, some express deliveries are moving to ground, and thousands of workers are trying to figure out what happens next. Some employees say it means more stops, longer days, less stability, and uncertainty about the future. FedEx says it's about efficiency and saving billions of dollars. But this is bigger than FedEx. This is the future of logistics in America. More automation, fewer overlaps, and leaner systems. And companies trying to do more with less. So do you think this merger will help workers or hurt them? Let me know. And this might cost me my job.
The vice president came to talk to us this morning. You know, I was all scared and nervous. He gave us some answers. He answered the questions. Well, he gave us, I don't know if he answered all the questions, but his answer was to most of the questions was, he don't know. He don't know. He gave us a breakdown of what they're trying to do, which they've been giving us breakdowns for what they're trying to do forever. Basically, there's going to be CVSs and EVSs, and that means contractor buildings with priority and ground freight, but mostly contractor workers, pretty much ground people. There will be EVS buildings with ground freight, priority freight, with employee buildings. There will be a few mixed buildings, but those mixed buildings will be look more like contractor buildings with a sprinkle of employees in there to run the priorities. Now, when the questions came, because we had a guy that was like nailed him to the wall, like, hey, I care about me and my family. What could you tell me? How does this affect our station here? And the answer was, I don't know. Nobody knows. They said by November, they're going to put out announcements to our whole area what's going to happen. But as of right now, it's fluid. It's just changing every day. They're trying to break down, draw the lines, and see what it's going to look like. Most likely, he said, most of our routes are going to get smaller as far as the area. It's going to be dense. We're going to be stopping at every single house, though. Like, our trucks are going to be packed like ground trucks, and we're going to have priorities. We're going to get bigger vehicles. Just, work in a small area, and it's going to be a lot tighter. That's what the goal is, I guess.
That sounds efficient on paper, but denser routes shift uncertainty onto workers. Now listen for what happens when the plan fails and who absorbs the risk.
He mentioned something about, like, if it don't work out, probably a 3-month notice coming November. Somebody asked about a severance package. He said, yeah, possibly, which to me means no. Or if it's going to be anything, it's going to be not more than what you'll get from unemployment. So it's going to be a wash. So they're not going to do that. Unless they looking for great PR, they offer everybody, it's FedEx, so probably the maximum hey, here's 10 grand. Here you go. And, you know, this is California. Thanks. So as of right now, nothing's going to change until November. That gives everybody some time to kind of talk to their families and kind of see what you're going to do. A lot of us is kind of just playing it by ear, like there's no sense of worrying. But for the older people that's like 50 plus, 45, 50 plus years old, they put their time into the company, and now for it to be some uncertainty, it's kind of messed up for them because they can't just, all right, get up and start over at a new job. And, you know, most people ain't going to hire a 50-year-old. You see what I'm saying? So it's really messed up. And I'm about to be in that bracket, you know what I mean? I ain't 50, but I feel it. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, that's the update.
To all my FedEx people, hey, change is always going to happen, man. Change is always going to happen. Things are always going to be different at some time in the career that you're doing. Yeah, man, so a lot of changes are happening. You guys know that. East Coast, West Coast, Mid Coast, whatever it is. Hey, to all you contractors out there, owners, as long as you got the right people in the right position that are down to ride for you, your company will be okay. Pockets might not be the same if you're losing, or even if you are gaining, it might not be as much as what you lost. But at the end of the day, if you're still in the game, make sure you have the right management to control what you have. You know what I mean? Because it takes it a long, long way if you got the BCs that are down to ride for you to the very end. Because that's what I am. And that's what I do. And any changes that happening, I'll make it right. We got to make it right.
These stories do not prove every route fails, but they reveal a warning about access and delay. Check the evidence, tell me what breaks first. Like and subscribe.